In today's video, we're going to be first fixing one of these Hansgrohe iBox Universal. Now the first thing to do is, I've already mounted it on the wall here, but you need to get it flush with the front of the wall. So where my wall isn't flat, I've had to pack it out with these packers. So these are just glazing packers that I've drilled through and then mounted with these coach screws and washers. So this is perfectly level now. So as you can see there, perfectly level on the front, and we're also level on the vertical. Now on these, the supply goes on the side, so hot on the left, cold on the right, and then you've got an outlet on the top and another one on the bottom there. And these, depending on what your setup is, these will be for different things. So I'm having this being the fixed head shower, and then this bottom one being a handheld shower. You've got two options for fixing into these. Now this is option A. So this is a 3/4 BSP thread and it's solder 15mm on the other end. Or you can use a 3/4 BSP thread to 15mm compression. Now the preference would be to solder, then you've got no compression fittings stuck in a wall, and that's what I would like to do. It's got a much lower chance of leaks. However, I'm going to end up using the compression ones where there just isn't the space on this, where I've got this small gap between here, there just isn't the space to put the fitting in here and then solder in situ without risk of melting this. So instead I'm just going to use the compression ones and make up a soldered elbow and tail outside of this. So this will just go on the top like that. Put Loctite 55 pipe sealing cord on there, and then I'll probably use some paste or a bit of PTFE around the olive on the compression fitting, and I'll be pressure testing all of this before I back aboard this wall anyway. So these Hansgrohe units, they actually can be used with most of their fittings. So this is just what it looks like when you buy it. So these are just linked out, so you can pressure test, but when you actually come to fit, once you're doing your final second fixing, you take this piece off, and that's what your shower valve bolts onto this brass plate behind. But this is just the cover to keep it tidy when you're tiling. There's also this plate here. So this you've got 3 different levels here that you can fix this thing to, and then it just means that when you board on the front, this actually just holds the board, so you're not going to get any flex. And my intention is just to run a bead of glue around this, bit of grip fill type adhesive, instant stick adhesive, for when I put the backer board on the front. So this is the stud wall I've built for the shower. So you have the supplies coming in either side from below, and then out the top we're going to have a fixed shower which is going up there, and then out the bottom we're having a handheld shower which is going to be mounted on here. And then on the front of this I'm going to be using this insulated tile backer board. I'm going to be doing this whole thing in copper, and I'm going to be soldering all of it, so I'll film some of that as we're going along. I don't like push fit or compression fitting if I can avoid it, especially not where it's anywhere that I won't be able to get to it. So this is going to be behind tiles in a shower, so really not somewhere that you ever want to have to get back to sort out a leak. For the fixed shower head and handheld shower, I'm using these 1/2" BSP thread solder back plates. Again, I just want to have as few non-soldered joints in the wall as possible, so you can get compression's version of these, but I'd rather not use a compression one. I'd much rather use a solder back plate. Now to get this iBox flat to the front of the wall, what I did was I screwed a batten top and bottom, and then I pulled this thing up flush against the front and then pushed in these packers behind. So I basically had these coach screws in already, and then just let them off enough to shove the packers behind so that this black piece was flush against the front. So this is just representing my backer board. Just enables me to get this flush behind so that the tile backer board is well supported in front. Because everywhere else we've got lots of noggins that will support the backer board. Now this Hansgrohe unit has been a bit of a pain just to first fix so far, but I would highly recommend using them. German made, really high quality fitting. And when it's in a shower, you want something that you know is going to last a long time. If you haven't seen these Irwin speed bore bits, highly recommend getting some. They go through joists for pipe work and cables very, very easily. These really require no effort at all, they just pull themselves straight through the stud. You can also stick them on an impact driver if you haven't got space to get a whole drill like this in. I'm getting all the pipe work cut to length, all the fittings measured, everything in place, and then I'll come back and do one whole hit and just solder the lot in one. Makes it much more efficient that way. So I've got everything cut, bent, dry fitted. Now next up is ream all the pipes, get everything ready for solder, then solder it all up. So down there are the feeds, and that's what I'm going to solder last, so I don't have to cut the water off to the rest of the house. And then come up here into our Hansgrohe iBox universal, and then out the top we've got a fixed shower head up there, and then at the bottom go across and we've got a handheld shower which will just go here and the supply will be there. Some of the pipe work's not 100% straight, but no one's ever going to see it, and the point is, should last a long time. I'm going to do a separate video about fixed shower heads like this. One of the most important bits when soldering is actually prepping your pipes correctly, prepping the fittings, and a common one to get forgotten is reaming. So it's so difficult to see on camera there, but when you take the pipe slice to a pipe, you end up with these burrs on the inside that need to be removed. The reason they need to be removed is they cause turbulence in the pipe work afterwards, and you want one of these reaming tools. So this is just a Barco one I've got here to remove that. So you just put it on the inside and just scrape. You end up with these copper filings coming off, and that removes it, and that just stops you getting the turbulence problem in the pipe. The other one is correctly prepping your fittings. And so these, even though they're shiny, just fresh from the manufacturer out the packet, they need to be roughed up, and you can get a tool like this to do that, or you can use a bit of steel wool, kind of old-fashioned way. But it just enables you to get a really good seal with the solder, give the solder something to bond to by roughing up all the surfaces that the solder is going to go onto. So you do that to everywhere that solder is going to get in contact with, and then the same thing, solder will be on the front of this bit of pipe work. So we've got this brush tool, so you've got a nice bit of rough copper for the solder to stick to. Now you do this on all of these before you even apply flux and start soldering. So now I've cleaned it up, went up with a joint like this. You know, not the most neat in the world, but does the job. Now I'll stick this up here, so I think this actually goes on this side, and then we've got one for the other side as well. So the next job is getting these 3/4 inch to 15mm compression adapters in the sides here, because these are 3/4, so they're quite big for a 15mm pipe. I think the reason is this is designed for Hansgrohe to be used with anything, so with baths as well. So you never know what kind of supply you're going to have to it or what you might want to take off it, but I'm just doing it all in 15 here. So I'm going to do Loctite 55 around the thread, and then I'm probably going to do a bit of PTFE tape, or maybe some liquid PTFE or some paste around the olive on the compression side. And then that'll go in there, and then I'll stick in the pipes that I've just soldered. Now I've got the supply tails connected up to the iBox here. What I've done is Loctite 55 pipe sealing cord on these inner bits, and do a bit of liquid PTFE using this Loco heavy duty pipe compound, just to avoid any leaks. Hot on the left, cold on the right. Now I'm going to stop this video here and do a separate video about the fixed shower head and how to install one of those. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.